Right, I've arrived out on site. This is my project for today. This is a two-part project. First part is cut a hole through that crap, and second part is to turn that crap into a bridge just the other side of there. So in order to know how much I need to clear out, I need to get out my tape measure, and then wow, these are some pretty big trees, but they will also make a very good bridge. So I reckon I can cut a good section out of these pieces here for a bridge. So let's have a look. I need to do a tree assessment first to make sure there's nothing going to fall on my head. I've got a very unlikely looking one up there. So this is what you always have to do. Look at this. See this one here? That's hung up in there. That one there, that's hung up in there. I always have a look to see what can fall on you. Once you move something, you'll be surprised what other stuff moves. So yeah. So I will see what I can do. I will just grab my tape measure and head around the other side. Right, so this is the mud hole for the bridge, and I now have to decide whether to come across onto this bank here where my feet are and straight across that way, or across where the mud is. Now there's a bit of a dip in there anyway, so that might not be too bad to come in here. I've got a nice big root ball here of this tree, so I'm doing what they call a site assessment. So what I want to know is when I cut anything, what's going to fall on me. This in here, this is quite wet. You can see where people have jumped across here. There is a log here and a very nice handhold there. I am making a lot of noise because it's early o'clock. Sunrise has only just happened, and this is a major crossing between two valleys. There's a bank just there, and there's a bank just there behind me. This is a pinch point, and it's probably only 100-150 feet wide. So any wildlife that's coming up through this way, including their fuzzy friends with the murder mittens, they're all coming up through this way. So that's the other reason why I've set up my gear stash over here. It'd be easier if I set it up over there, but that's on the main trail, and bears, like humans, like to take the easy route through the forest. They're not going to walk through this when they've got a really nice trail over there. So yeah, so I need to do a bit of assessment here, have a measure up and see what we've got. If I come up onto this bank, I've got to make much longer logs. The advantage of coming to where I am is I can put the logs in here and they'll bed in quite nicely because they're pretty round logs. You don't want to have to step up onto a bridge, especially if it's snowy and icy. It's better if you can just walk straight onto it. So I'll have a measure up across this gap and see what I have for distance and stuff. Right, let me get that done. Right, this is measuring time. Now from where I am to where I want to be is over there. Now you'll notice this is not a very precise measuring process. What have we got there? 11, 12. So 12, 13 might be a bit long. So I think 12 foot. So what I need is some 12-foot chunks. I need some 12-foot chunks of those trees over there, which is actually some very considerable size wood. So let me grab my big saw. I will head over there and start measuring up. Yeah, 12 foot. So from there I've decided to come across to here. Now in the bottom here I'm going to need some shorter pieces, and I'll measure those up, and that's what I just set the logs up on, and that just gives it a bearing surface so that it doesn't squash down into the mud quite so much. Because if you can keep the wood out of the mud, it doesn't rot as much. It really doesn't. I mean, if you can keep it up off the ground where it's dry, trust me, those logs will last much, much longer. And since those logs look incredibly heavy, I want them to last as long as possible. Right, let me head over there, take some tools. I do have my bear spray. I've taken off my pack and put on here. I've got my other bear spray right there. I have two with me today just in case, because this, like I say, this is a bit of a pinch point. So I will head across there and start clearing out some crap. Right, something to consider is when putting a trail through or cutting a hole through deadfall is to find the easiest route. So I have two ways I can go here. I can go straight through this lot, which doesn't actually look too bad, or what I think might be better is to cut this crap off of this tree here, cut this garbage off, because this is all dead anyway. This tree is actually dead, which is a little worrying. Yeah, so I think I need to clear all the crap off of that, cut a hole through here and see what I'm up against, and then I can have a measure up and see, because I did cut some willow out here, or some alder out here the other week, and piled that up in there. But I think that is, let's get rid of those, there we go. I think if I cut a hole through here, cut all this crap off, cut a hole through here, I think that will actually be a better route. So let me start trimming out some of this garbage here, and I'll bring you back in a mo. I'm not going to leave this setup filming continuously, because it's rather boring watching some old guy cut pieces of very hard wood that don't want to cut out of trees. But I will do what I can, and it's also I'm keeping a good eye open. Now, this stuff is very brittle, and when I was up in here the other week, I actually ended up getting whacked in the face and in the eye with a bloody pine branch. So there's no more important rule than to wear these safety glasses, as their buddy Norm Abram would say. I wonder if he's still going. I'm not sure if that TV show's still going. What was it? This Old House or something, wasn't it? Remember, there's no more important rule than to wear these safety glasses. And I can tell you now, it's actually very true. You only get one pair of eyes, so whatever. I can always buy more safety specs. Yeah, right. Let me start cutting a hole through there and see what we end up with. Well, the clearing the debris part's coming on good. That's quite the pile I moved out of there already. That's just to clear a hole. Now, these logs are the ones I want. So I'm going to have to trim them up. I need 12 foot. I both feel like this one's got a split in it too, so that actually might make that quite nice. So I think what I'll do is I'll use this tree here as my cut-off point and measure 12 feet down that way, and can go from there. Whew, let me tell you, it's warmed up already. I've already lost 2 layers and I've only just got it. Right, this the 500 makes such short work of all this, it really does. I have the 2000 with me today, just in case I get stuck. The 2000 is with me all the time. I never go anywhere without that thing. So I will take care of that. That's quite the debris pile already. Holy crap, Batman. Yeah. And like I say, I've lost 2 layers already. Right, so I need to, I think, trim up as much of these little pieces off of here as I can. And I'm going to start there, put a cut through there, and measure down 12 feet and see what I've got out of that, and then I can cut off that other piece as well. Right, let me get on with that and see what I got. Well, that worked out about right. So I need 12 foot. So to that tree down there, which is about as far as I can get comfortably for cutting, where the tape is now, to here is 12 foot. So what you do is you start a little cut like this where you want to cut it off, put your tape measure in the hole, and hey presto, holds it in place, because it's a pain in the arse measuring it. And I have that double there, so I'm going to cut this one out. Then I've got the other big one the other side of it. If I can get both of those out of there in a 12 foot length, should be good. Now I do have my rope with me today, because I am going to need it to pull these buggers around. But what I'm also going to need is a couple of smaller branches, which I may cut off of that one there for what I call the bank seat beams. If you're building a big bridge, I've done this many times. I used to do bridge building, like proper bridge building. So if you're putting in a bridge across something, you need what's called a bank seat beam. And obviously if you was doing a proper bridge here for vehicles or whatever, you'd have a massive bank seat beam sank in here. And I've done it with logs, you know, as round as this tree. Bury a couple of those in the ground, build your bridge on top of that, and then you can deck it out. But you have to bear in mind that whatever weight you add to the bridge, you take away from its carrying capacity. So if you are bridging as a beam bridge can only be about 100 foot across as a straight beam, because once you start exceeding that, the weight of the beam to span that gap becomes the maximum weight that you can travel across that bridge on. So 100 foot for a beam bridge is about it. This is why you'll see like cable stay and all that kind of stuff built. But we do not need a cable stay bridge across here. What we need is a couple of logs sunk in the ground and slung across the mud. So nothing fancy. But it is a good idea to put a couple of pieces across the ground here. And I'm going to cut a couple of small ones. I'll find some small ones. This tree that's leaning up here, this one would actually be a perfect candidate for that. But it's also what I call a really good squirrel bridge. So the squirrels don't like hopping across the mud anyway, but it's For squirrels, they like to be up off the ground, and that is a perfect route straight up the tree. And I can actually see marks and like bits of pine cones and what have you at the end of it, like the pine casings. So I do know squirrels use it, so I'm not going to cut it out just to make a piece. There's plenty of other branches here that I can use for that, lots of them. So what I will do is I will cut off, I think I'm going to cut off the two small ends first, because that way it's still supported on this piece at this end, and then I can get my rope out and drag them buggers around. Cool, that's going to be fun. Right, so I'll get these two cut up first to the right length, and then I'll find a couple of bits for the bank to sit them on. Right, on I go. Right, so this is actually working out very well, other than the sun's coming up, and wow, is it warm. I had 3 layers on when I came. Right, so I've cut this out of here. This is a fraction over 12 feet. So I'm going to see how it goes with leaving this side one on with the twin, because it does open up a little bit there. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to leave that on or just trim it off. But then I've got to cut this big one. That's going to be the next problem. Now anybody that's seen me move logs will know that I use a rope. Now if I tried to manhandle this log, there is not a hope in hell I can move that log. Not a hope. So across here where the bridge is going to go, I have laid 2 small ones in the ground, and the bridge is going to sit on top of those 2. Bump, like that. Now you'll also notice I've put some small ones under the end. The reason for those is once I put the logs on it, I've got to tie the cross logs to these logs, and the easiest way to do that is just to leave some temporary small ones underneath like that, so you can pass the rope underneath it. Nobody wants to be digging through mud to be able to pass a rope through, especially me. And I've done the same on the other side, just got a little one under there so I can get the logs under. And what you'll find is, because this is marshy soft ground, with the weight of those logs on there, they'll sink right in there anyway. Right, so I've just had a quick bite to eat because I need some energy for this next bit. So I'm going to cut that out over there, drag it over here, and hopefully get the first log in place. Right, let me get on with that. Wow. That's where a rope comes in handy. There's no way I can manhandle that log. I think what I'm going to do is a bit of spring in this end. I'm going to see if I can tie that piece into that piece a little bit, spring it round, and then put the other log next to it. I'm not sure which side I'm going to go with that yet. I might put the big log on that outside there. I don't know. I've got to see how well this one turns out. Let me see if I can do something with that. Not sure what I can do with it. That kind of sucks having that piece on there, but unfortunately that's the trees I was given. So I can move that one across to there, I guess. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to move this log across to that side, and then I can put the smaller log this side, the big log this side. I can tell you now, that one's a heavy log. Oh, I'm dreading this one. That one's going to be really heavy. You're going to have to go easy with that one. This would be a good time for 6 hikers, you know, all 8 feet tall and 8 feet wide, to turn up and give me a hand. But that never happens until it's actually built and tied, and then 6 people turn up to walk across it, like what happened at the other end of this trail. Yes, so I'm going to move that one across, and then I'm going to go and cut this other one. Right, it's starting to look a bit better though. Once I've cut that one out of the way, that'll be nice and clear through there. Yeah, big debris pile, eh? But the Silky 500, you can't odds it, makes light work of this crap, I can tell you. Then I will remove all this red flagging and coloured tape and all that other crap that's up in there, and go from there. Right, on we go. I've gone a little longer on that end, but I have a problem because I've got to get it out from between these 2 trees. So what I'm going to do is cut it out through there, and then drag with the rope I've already attached, because once you drop this log on the ground, it's a pain in the arse to get the rope underneath it, so always put the rope on first. So I'm going to cut that out of there. Now people have said to me, hey, you cut all this stuff, but we never actually see you do it. So if you really want to be that bored and watch me cut through this log, I will do it for you. I can tell you now, it's not exciting, and it's also a lot of work. So I will set that up. Not sure how well it's going to record. Now you get to see some old guy cutting through a very large tree. for these silky saws, if anybody's not used to using these things, this is the 500, and the gap is already opening up, and that is an extremely heavy log, so you might see me run in a minute. Oh, here she goes. Always listen for that noise when you hear that starting to creak. Time to slow down. That is how easy a 500 cuts through a pretty large log. It's very big, eh? Yeah. I can tell you now, it's bloody heavy, so I'm going to have to drag this end up over that way, and now I can retie on the other end and move it round. I'm not going to film that bit because it's bad enough watching me huff and puff cutting through that. That line's struggling like hell for 10 minutes to get this log over there, because it took me about 5 minutes to get that one over there. This one's going to take a lot longer, and the secret is slowly, 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 slowly. If we had 2 or 3 people here now, easy, whip that round, pull it out of there, bridge done, across the creek. Oh, here comes some people. How about that? Now, isn't that good for timing? Where can we run short? Oh, come some more people. Hello. That was good timing. I hope you bought your mussels.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. I just said to myself, are you heading up Boundary Peak? You doing Boundary Peak?
Boundary Peak, yeah.
Yeah, straight across this way.
Ah.
This is why I'm building you a new bridge.
Oh.
So all these people just turned up. Look at this. This looks like a welcome group of volunteers. Yeah. Or maybe not. This is a heavy tree. Right, I'll just put this camera away. Yeah, isn't that sod's law? As I just said, this would be a great time for people to come by, and sure enough, 3 people came by. So they're heading right up the mountain, so I don't want to hold them up too much because they got a long way to go. Yeah, and yeah, they found the trail, so that's good. Right, on I go. I will proceed to drag this monstrosity of a log around and hopefully have a bridge ready for them when they come back down. Wow, holy crap. I had to employ some Egyptian technology. This big one on this side was so heavy I couldn't even drag it. I could move it around end to end, but I couldn't drag it sideways. I needed to move it 2 feet between those trees. I didn't want to have to cut a tree down, a perfectly good tree, just to move it. So what I did was got underneath it and jimmied it up the thing, turned it round, and I had to put some small logs under it just to kind of roll it down into here. Now the piece I put in there this morning just to hold it up so that I could tie the logs on it has already sunk into the mud, so I've got to try and recover that somehow, and then I'm just going to tie this lot together, and then hopefully we will all be good. Yeah, I think that's going to settle into the mud, but it's way better than that rotten log. As you can see, that's what people have been crossing on. This, and it's absolutely rot as a turd. And this mud in here, I stepped into the mud just there, and if I'd have stayed in there, it would have been over the top of my welly boots. It's like really in there, it's really sloppy. So I will get all this tied on as best I can and see what I can do with it. Right, on I go. Oh, holy crap, Batman. Let's see if I can find some little bits of log to just chuck in the ends here, just fill in some of these holes. But oh my god, that's heavy. Really heavy. I'd like to centre tie it too. I like to centre tie my bridges, but I've got some of this deadfall here, this branches here just to clear off. I will get those cleared off of there so you're not banging your eyes into them. Any of these little stubs that stick up, there's one under my boot there, I will take that off. I don't know if I really do need to centre tie this one. This big log is strong enough to walk across on its own. Now I know that that's not a really nice lashing on the end, but I can tell you now it's tight. Other than that little piece of cord there, there's 100 foot of bloody cord on there. Yeah, this side's a little neater, but I could get under this log. This end, can't even get under it. That cross log has already started to sink into the mud, so Yeah, not a lot I can do about that. That's just what nature does. So either way, I will clear off these branches that are head height and what have you, do a bit of tidy up, and then I might clear off up that trail a little bit and go and see if I can clear out some more of that alder up there. Those ladies have gone all the way up to the top of Banded Peak to Boundary Peak. So if they were going to Banded Peak from here, they're a bloody long walk. Right, so I will clear off some of this garbage, remove all the old bits of tape that are over there, clean off all this crap on this one here, just so that that's not poking people in the eyes and stuff. One bridge, holy crap. So the shorter log is 13 feet roughly. It's this one's slightly over 13 feet and this one's slightly over 12 feet, so we'll call it 13 foot. Right, I will go and clear up all the tape and what have you the other side that marks the wrong route now, and we can go from there. Right, on I go. Right, always good to do a little bit before and after. Right, so that's the trail you'll come up. You'll come up that way. I've just blocked off this piece here because kind of leading people in the wrong way. Those three ladies that came up, they were going to go that way. They didn't realise the turn off was here. So there would have been another group of people going the wrong way. So this will have very quickly turned into a trail. There's some good sized trees cut out of there. Got a few of the ends, stop you bashing your head on them. There's a bunch of marking tape here. I didn't put all this up. Mine's the red tape. I tend to use the red tape. And one bridge. Oh dear. Right. Yes. And as luck would have it, what I need is some rock. When I normally build bridges, I pile up the ends with rock, but there's no rock here. So, oh well. I just put in some bits of dead branch just to fill the hole in so people can see that there is a mud hole there. Don't try to cross the creek there. Literally, I stepped in there and cut my hand. I stepped in there, it was nearly up to the top of my welly boots. I had to pull out the welly boot really slowly, otherwise it would have ripped it off my foot. So you could very easily lose a hiking boot in there, I'm telling you. Right, so the old log was this rotten one under here, so that had to go. That tree was a nice handhold, I must admit. The ladies asked if I was going to put a railing on it. No, I'm not going to put a railing on it. If you need a railing, you're in the wrong place. Either way, the bridge is done. 13 foot that one, and I can tell you now, that is one of the heaviest bridges I've built in a very long time. So I need to put some more crap in the end of there, and a few more bits over there. I wish I had some, what's the name? Some rock. Because if you put rock underneath there, so I've got there's that piece of log under there that goes that way, and then if you look, there's some small pieces of log that went that way. They're already pushed in the ground. So this won't take long to settle in. And the idea is, if you can keep these big logs up out of the mud as long as possible, they last longer. Yeah, if they're in the mud, they rot like shit because the water gets in there, the fungi gets in there, and they just disintegrate. Ideally, they would be peeled logs, but if somebody wants to come and peel them, they're more than welcome to it. Yeah, I sure as hell am. Yeah, right. So that is it. That is the new and improved crossing. Yeah. It's one of these things. Once you know where a trail is, it's fine. But I think everybody would come up here, and from what I can make out, a lot of other people would come this way too. They'd come up to here, and because there's all this deadfall, your natural instinct is to walk around the edge of the deadfall, which is why there was such a well-trodden trail up there that suddenly stopped. It literally just stopped, middle of nowhere, just gone. And that's why. And if you follow that, that'll take you all the way down to the bottom of Mount Baldy, which is where you don't want to be. So, yeah, get to here, turn off. Much easier to find now. If you can't find that, not much I can do to help you with that one. Yeah. Cross here. Now, if you wanted to continue down to Baldy, if that's the way you wanted to go, down through the Lusk area, you could go down through there, just follow that valley all the way down. There's a whole bunch of cut blocks in there, you can't miss it. So just follow it all the way down, keep going downhill basically, and it will take you all the way out to, if you kept going, it would take you to the university site out at on the Kananaskis Road there. by Barrier Lake. It would take you down to the research station there, the university research station. But that would be a very long bushwhack garbage hike, because there is no trail through there. The only trail that's through there is animal trails, and just down through there is a clearing, and that's where I found all that bear crap the other week, which is why I'm making a lot of noise. I have heard all kinds of noises up in here, but like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a bit of a pinch point. That is quite the debris pile I had to cut out of there, that's for sure. But it is well marked now, you can't miss it. Very nice bridge. I'm going to get my pack on since I'm here. I might as well head up the trail a little bit. Oh, that is so nice now. Don't have to tiptoe through the bloody mud. Yeah. Which is why I come out and do these things, just improve little bits of trail. It's Golden Gate Bridge, it is not. However, it is also not insanely muddy feet. So if you were heading up the mountain, the last thing you want is really muddy, crappy boots, just as you're crossing a creek. So, right, there it was done. I shall head on up the trail. Just going to head that way a bit. I've got all my stuff set up here. I'm going to head up the trail, up that way, and go from there. Right, let's get everything else packed up and put on, and on I go and clear out some more of that alder that's up there. Right, all my kit's packed up, bridge is done. Whoa. Yeah, that mud in there is insanely deep. It really is. It's horrible. Yeah, it's like swamp. Right, so this bridge will settle into that over time. I'm glad I put the cross pieces under it, because that'll help make it last longer. Yeah, apologies for the crappy rope tying and lashing, but you've got to do what you can do, and that's all I can do. So yes, just wish I had about 20 rocks now, because I could fill in all these tree root holes across here with rocks, but unfortunately I can't. So, right, that's my way back. So I'm going to continue this way a little bit up the trail, see if I can clear out some more of that alder up there, and then have a bit of a wander. I'm all the way out this way, I might as well make a walk of it, and on I go. Well, last week when I came up here, I thought to myself, no bloody way, because I was really tired, and that's a good sized tree, see. But I have my big saw with me, and I have a little bit more energy today. So I'm going to see if I can do something with that. Not quite sure what I can do with it, but let's see if I can do something with it. Right, let's see what I can do. Right, and there we are. Job done. There's a heavy log out of there. Yeah, this is the advantage of coming up here when I've got a bit of energy. So that's not a huge log. That's probably, what, 8 to 10 inches across, I guess. I can tell you now, it's very nice when they stay put. It's when you cut them and they roll downhill and do all kinds of weird shit, and that's why you always want to make sure you've got 2 saws with you, because if you get one stuck, you've got to cut it out, and it doesn't always work very well. So there we are, one big tree off the trail. So we've got a bridge built and one big tree off the trail. Oh dear, right. Oh, I know I'm about to get into some alder up here, so I have my nippers out, so I will get up there and cut some more of that. Oh, that's good. I meant to cut that one last week, but by the time I got here I was so tired, because I already wasted 2 hours on the wrong trail, that by the time I got here I was really tired. So right, not tired today. There's one big hole in the tree, job done. On I go. No, I had a whole patch of alder here, so I've just cut that out. A couple of these I'm going to have to cut with my saw. But that tree there, it's what I call a duck under. Can't quite go over it, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass to go under, because it's got sharp branches sticking out underneath it. So that doesn't look like too hard to move, so I will get that off the trail, get that out of there. Right, let's move that one. Another one gone, that's good. It's only a small one. It's hard wood, eh? It's been down for a while. It's nice when you can cut them and just push out a bit and it kind of just flops off the trail. That's kind of nice. Right, loads of alder in here. There was a huge clump of it right across the trail here, so cut that right out. Gonna head on up that way. I can see even more up there. On I go. Right, I'm a good way up this cut line, this former cut line. It's a dead straight piece of trail that goes off up through there, and it is basically nothing but alder. This is several days project for me, I'm afraid. So I have made huge progress down that way. So that red marker in the tree there is as far as I got. So I'm going to head back down that way, because on the way back I'm going to take out a whole bunch more. And this is how I improve trails. I can't do it all in one hit. Like if I had one of those battery powered brush cutters, yeah, easy, no problem. I just walk up here and clear the lot. However, I'm cutting each piece by hand, so I will head down that way and clear out a bunch more. The trail now is a lot better. I've cleared out several bits of deadfall. There's some more deadfall I want to get on the way back, but I have noticed we've got the hazy cloud coming in, and around here hazy cloud can mean one or two things: rain, which I'm not too worried about, or thunderstorms, which I really don't want to be out here in a big thunderstorm. Played that game before, it's not one I want to play again. So right, on I go. I'm going to head back and start clearing out some more on that side. The other advantage of not going all the way up is I can tackle some of these smaller pain in the arse size ones across the trail on the way down while I still have some energy, because that gets really steep up there in a minute. And yeah, so I'm going to head back down and cut some of these out. Right, let's get those moved. Right, another awkward white height one gone off the trail. That one was a bit of a pain to step over. Just going to cut out some more of this order. Yeah, these are the ones I tried to get rid of. I mean, that one there is so easy to step over, but this one was a bit of a pain. So yeah, woo, I'm tired now, I can tell you. So I am going to head back down that way. Probably just concentrate on order now, because there's so much of it. And I'll get back down into the bit at the bottom where it's nice and flat. At least this is all downhill. That's nice. Right, on I go. Right, so I'm back down the bottom of the trail. My hand is now sore because I have cut so much bloody order again. But that's what I do. I walk up and down the trail, cut a bit out, and just makes it better as you go. Now I have to say, oh, look at this. Somebody's built a nice bridge. Just what I need. At the end of that, rather than having to work my way across this mud, let's get over it. So you used to have to go across this bloody log here, which is all mud and crap. And now we have a very nice bridge. Oh, oh, that is so nice. It'll take a while for that to all squash back in there, but yeah, there it is. That's the easy way to get across that mud hole now. Whew, that big log. Yeah, I think that was as big as I could manage. It's a shame those ladies were heading up boundary there, because I could have done with the extra pull-in power. They were good sized ladies too. I think they'd have been able to help. Yeah, trying to get that across there on my own was quite something. But either way, it's there now. It's tied on. It's there. How long it'll stay there, I don't know. No clue. But I can tell you now, it's way better than trying to get across that mud. You can actually see my boot print the other side there of where I sunk. I can tell you now, that is really, really sinky mud in there. Right, so that way would take you down to, if you kept going, it would take you down to Barrier Lake, and you'd come out by the back end of the university site there. This way. Oh, look at this. Woo-hoo-hoo. Not that I'm biased, but that is a bloody good place to have a bridge. Yeah, so I've covered over all the garbage that went the wrong way. It's pretty obvious now. I mean, if you can't figure out where that goes, then I don't know what to say. Oh, that was some good sized logs. Yeah, bloody heavy that one. Yeah, even with a rope. You know, rope I've always found is very good for moving stuff and what have you, but even with a rope, that was a bugger. Yeah, the smaller one of the two was interesting. The big one, woo, Batman. It was actually getting to the point where I was thinking to myself, I'm going to have to actually start making a winch here out of another pole and just inching it 2 or 3 inches at a time. So there's the after shot. Bridge is over there. Ooh. I've already done the video for the walk out of here before, so I will probably end that there, I suspect. Yeah. Oh yes, very good, nicely done. Very pleased with that, very pleased indeed. There is a lot of orange tape the other side there. I did not put the orange tape in. The red bits are mine. I did not put the orange tape in, but I can tell you now, whoever did, thank you very much, because I nearly missed this trail the other week and ended off down the middle of bloody nowhere. So whoever that was, thank you. And the 3 ladies that come up here just now, they I say just now, a few hours ago, they were about to head down the wrong way too. They were looking for this ridge to go up, and they were just about to go the wrong way. So I said to her, "You going Boundary Peak?" She said, "Yep." I said, "Up through there." Right, one more bridge done. 13 foot, that one. Yeah, a lot of bloody work. I don't know which was worse, building that or cutting out that alder. I think I'd rather build the bridge than cut out that alder. Right, okay, on I go. Oh, back in the creek. Oh, my feet are so cool now, it's so nice. I think I timed that right. Look at the sky, it's all greying up. They did say it might rain this afternoon. Rain I'm not worried about because I've got waterproofs. It's the thunderstorms I really don't want to have too much of. Oh, look at that. Oh. My advantage of welly boots. Get off, mosquito. Get off. But yeah. Oh, nice cool feet now. Right, let's get out of this creek and continue on my way. Right, so I'm back to the beginning of the trail. Back to the first bridge I made on this trail. So there's two bridges in one on this trail now. But the other one, way bigger. Holy crap, that's a heavy bridge. This one's working good. That's good. Glad to see it. Yeah, people are using it. I can see all the barks coming off the tree, so I can tell people are using it. So that's good. I think that's probably the last time I've been up here the last 3 weekends now. So I think there's other trails that I need to do a bit of work on before the weather closes in. So I will do those trails. Make a little bit of effort. I got halfway up the straightaway on this one on the alder. Oh my god. Yeah, you need 2 or 3 people up in there, preferably somebody with a chainsaw or a brush cutter, because that is just insane. Yeah, I did what I could. I got up in there quite a ways, but it was just too much. My hands hurt. My poor hands. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to use that as my closeout. I think that'll be the last time I come down this trail for a while. But thanks for coming along.